Hey everybody, it's Joe from Passion Unchained. I don't often do interviews anymore, but I met this guy. His name is Clark Nowlin. Cool fucking dude. He is the CEO of a company you may have heard of called Golden Ratio Coffee. He makes a coffee that is not burned, but is roasted and is a lighter brew. And I talked to him. He's my age. He's a really cool CEO dude. And inspiring, easy to talk to, and just a fun character. We talk all about entrepreneurship, making products, what it's like owning a company, what it's like building a company, what it's like creating an idea, watching it grow up, running a team. He's younger than I am, I believe. Inspires the fuck out of me. And we also talk about COVID. He got COVID, I got COVID, not at the same time, and obviously not during this interview, but yeah, it's a really great interview. I'm really happy about it, and I'm really also very happy because I had some technical difficulties and we ended up ironing them out enough to make a quality video. You will notice my audio is quiet during most of the interview. You can still hear my questions. Just want you to anticipate that so it doesn't come as a surprise. And a little bit of a issue with audio, but aside from that, I'm really happy with how I was able to cut it together even despite that, and that is why you have redundant cameras, folks. So, without further ado, here's my interview with Clark Nowlin, and if you want to get some of his coffee, I have a link in the description below for drinkgoldenratio.com. Cheers. Mic me up and all that jazz. It's all just conversational,
Yeah.
The deal.
Rad.
Spiel.
So should I kind of sit and face you a little bit, or we're gonna just sit next to each other looking forward?
Here. Why is that? This thing stops recording every now and then. It's weird. Yeah, I guess we could kind of just turn a little bit.
Yeah. That's how men like to communicate in diagonals.
Yeah.
Women are more like this, and men like to do like that.
Wait, women are I didn't see that shape you made.
Oh, so women more they prefer the completely head-on direct, where men like to do a diagonal thing.
Yeah,
it's a very subconscious subtle thing. But yeah, now that you've you won't unsee it now. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want the freedom of being able to look away.
Yeah.
And women want that connection.
Totally. Men I think have an inherent more all right, we're less of a direct with each other, less engaging, because we're good, I'm good, you're good, we're just gonna sit here and chat,
and
look
we're
up,
talking about
chat,
the idea.
look at. We're women, it's more
Yeah, because we're half of our heads are up in the idea, and then half of it are there with you.
Yeah.
And, half of it is up in the idea, and so we have to free our eyes to see up into the ideas.
Yeah, totally.
The realm of ideas that only men can see.
So, which is a lower realm than the things that women can see. Wink, wink.
I don't know. I think men are better.
Yeah. We're different, that's for sure.
Yeah, I just like to inflame. I really don't think that.
It is fun.
Yes, it is fun to inflame. I like saying the things you're not supposed to say, but the funny thing is, in everyday life, I'm not really like that. It depends. If I'm with my friends or if I'm on a podcast, then yeah. I just want to see something real quick.
Oh yeah. Oh, on here.
Hey, you're good. Yeah, I just want to make sure the red light's on. You're good. Yeah, red light's on. So this is the magic that you do. Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Clark Nowlin. I'm the founder of Golden Ratio Coffee. We make gold coffie.
It's not done yet.
Yeah, we want to let it.
This is my cup. I'm just putting it
so.
into the film, the frame.
Nice.
Over here, I don't think that camera sees it, and that's the better camera.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. So, little dancing in the cup turns water into gold faster, more thoroughly, and we put gold coffee like that in tea bags, and it's gold coffee because we don't burn the bean. It turns out a little more golden.
So you dry it out.
No, we just don't burn it.
You don't burn it.
Instead of roasting it to where it's burned, we just roast it to where it's toasted.
So you roast it. It's definitely roasted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the roasting process is where its difference is made.
Okay. I'm just gonna. Sorry for putting this in front of you or next to you. It's not the most professional setup. It's at my house. I like it better that way. But this is the stuff. I want to see it in the good camera.
It smells nice.
Yeah. So why? Wait, first I'm curious. So it's kind of like roasting an almond. You don't burn the almond, but you roast it, right? Sort of, maybe.
Yeah, I've never
no?
roasted almonds, so I don't know. But if basically coffee beans they're called green coffee. That's coffee that is unroasted. It's like the state of the bean is green coffee.
Green coffee.
And then the coffee people typically think of in different roasts are like a light roast, a medium, a dark roast, an extra dark, or a French roast, or anything, something like that. And so coffee roasts are something that are things that are distinguished already in coffee. And we put on the bag here to make it easy to understand.
Yes.
But you can see like the roast scales: green, gold, blonde, light, medium, dark.
And so you have different.
You can see it
roasts.
on here. That's the roast scale difference. So we basically
Why the hell is this stopping? I am sorry, sir.
Oh, you're good.
For some reason, this keeps stopping. But that's why I have two cameras.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Cool. So yeah, that's the different the roast scale. So we just don't.
You don't go towards the dark end.
Yeah, it's like a Starbucks blonde roast is here. It's just the next stage.
Oh, do you ever do blondes or just golds?
Just gold. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're.
Are you the
unique.
only ones that have done golds?
So there's a couple of low roast coffees. There's another one in Seattle called White Coffee. There's and then we're Gold Coffee, which we're more roasted than White Coffee is. But yeah, it's more of a new thing in coffee, and why you drink it is since it's not burned, the flavor's not bitter, and so 2/3 of people drink coffee every day put cream or sugar in it to cover up the bitter flavor.
Yes, that is usually why I would do that.
Yeah, so we don't have bitter coffee, and so like we're beans without the burn or beans without the bitter, and so that's like one reason you drink it is just because it's not bitter, but you still get the caffeine. And another reason is when the bean gets burned, the coffee becomes much more acidic than the burned coffee. And so our coffee is 10 times less acidic than regular coffee is on average. On our packaging, we say 5.
So if you like alkaline water, then you'll like this stuff.
Yes, like depending on like the alkalinity of the water you put in there. Like whenever we did all of our testing.
Austin tap water.
Tap water. Yeah, it depends on the east side. You're probably getting.
Well, Edwards Aquifer is nice, but I don't think this is from there.
No, yeah. So like the pH over there, I've tested it. It's like 9.4, which is like it's like some of the most alkaline water in the country. Now east. We're below 7. It comes,
acidic.
It's more acidic. Yeah. So we in our testing like this using East Austin water came in around 6.0 or 6.1 every time.
The water or the coffee?
The water plus Gold Coffee, and then using the same water and a bunch of different brands of coffee, traditional like black coffee. The acidity came in at like 5.0 to like 5.4, and so we're much less acidic. And those are logarithmic scales. So like 5.4 to 5.5 is like double less acidic. Or you know what I'm saying? So it's like 5.0 to 6.0 is 10x.
It's like decibels.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like decibels or COVID R naught stuff.
Yeah. Well,
which reminds me, you guys. I'm just gonna check this. I'm really nervous that things aren't going as they planned because that usually. Yeah, this is recording. I'm just going to keep this here so I make myself comfortable.
Cool.
I've had a podcast where the video cut out in between and I had to put just audio and I don't like doing that.
Oh, nice. Get in here.
Instills a confidence, yeah. Maybe I should do a little wide. I'm going to do that.
Okay, cool.
This is a nice camera. But so you just got over COVID, didn't you?
I did. That sucked.
Yeah.
Don't get it. Don't give it. If somebody doesn't believe it's real or something, then I don't know, go read a book. Or listen to this. Listen to me. I got it. I went to the hospital. Yeah. It sucked. So
I remember we had something that Thursday, and I think I hit you up on like Monday or something because the week before you had food poisoning.
I had a really rough month. So today is December 31st. This is the last day of 2020. And on November 30th, I had dinner that circa 12:30 a.m. on December 1st. So like right as December started, the food I had for dinner turned on me, and I got food poisoning. And so I spent all of December 1st basically in bed or in the bathroom. Food poisoning is terrible. I mean, as far as like an experience.
You think it's ready, by the way?
Yeah. Okay. Food poisoning, I would say, is less pleasant than COVID. Okay. So like if you're just gonna if you're just gonna take like any hour of the experience, like the worst hour of food poisoning, I mean that's like one of the worst hours of your life.
Yeah.
So COVID, there wasn't an hour that maybe was as bad.
Actually, I guess even if you don't survive it.
Yeah, and I guess they're both, you can die from either one. So
yeah,
that's so yeah. But I had food poisoning, and then it was like 2-ish weeks of full recovery to get all your enzymes and stuff in your stomach back.
That makes sense.
And I got COVID like the day of recovery from my food poisoning. So
that's unfortunate. Wait, so you were in the hospital for food poisoning?
No, I was in the hospital for COVID.
Okay, so where did you get COVID?
I got COVID from a good friend of mine. Hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Golden coffee.
Golden coffee. It's got like a peanut flavor. It's really, really light and yeah. So it's really just smooth and then.
Yeah, I didn't put it in for as long. I think I've used more water, and then it's funny because
it's a little more water. But yeah.
Yeah, there's the hat which I don't have on. Oh fuck! I think I left everything at Squatch actually. My jacket, I left my umbrella, and now I just realized I left my hat, so I'm gonna have to go back there.
Thanks.
And I'm gonna do my workout. But there's a melon / roan / golden ratio / clean like promo event that CJ was doing, and that's where I met you, and that's where I got 2 samples of these, one of which I tried, and one of which we are trying right now.
Heck yeah.
Same thing, I think. Do you have different, so it says original gold coffee, which I imagine means you have more than one flavor.
We do, yeah. So this one is just gold coffee. And so, I mean, it's really like a tea-like experience. It's not going to blow your mind. But
is it tea for coffee people or coffee for tea people?
Good question. Yeah, we put this on the packaging. And when we invented the product, that was something that we got to go find out when we launched our company because we didn't know. We knew that it sat between these things as an experience. And
it kind of looks like a tea bag.
Yeah.
Oh, that is not.
Yep. And so basically we now know with certainty based on our top customers that we have, it's invariably tea for coffee people.
Okay. So it's definitely tea for coffee people.
Yeah, because coffee drinkers have problems. Tea drinkers do not. The tea drinkers, they like their tea. It's really a specific thing for them. Where there are a lot of coffee drinkers that have like a jitterness problem or it stains my teeth or hurts my stomach.
For me, I don't drink it because it stains my teeth.
Yeah, and so this doesn't stain your teeth brown.
Yeah.
And so a tea drinker wouldn't say that, but a coffee drinker has that problem. And so that's where we now have clarity that we didn't have clarity on when we launched of like, is this coffee for tea people or tea for coffee people? We are tea for coffee people.
That makes sense.
We're not converting tea drinkers to golden ratio, but we are converting coffee drinkers to golden ratio.
Are you going to change this? Are you going to change the copy on this or no?
I don't know. I mean, it is kind of a fun thing. It's kind of like how many licks does it take to get the center of the lollipop?
Yeah.
Like the answer is actually arbitrary, but you give somebody the experience of deciding for themselves. And so like that's something that I don't want to rob people, but we just know from like now our company standpoint, like the customers who come back and keep repurchasing are invariably coffee drinkers. Or I guess I should say old coffee drinkers. They go from old coffee to gold coffee. Yeah, old coffee to gold coffee.
I like that. All right. I like that.
But don't get COVID. Back to wrapping that up.
Oh yeah,
it sucked. Don't get COVID. Don't give it. And if you think it's not real, then again, you now have been warned from somebody who just had it.
I've had friends that had a really bad time.
Yeah. 8 days of not leaving my bed, other than when I went to the ER. So
that's not good.
Yeah.
They give you a ventilator or no?
Nope.
Okay. So you didn't.
Yeah. I got X-rayed on my lungs and stuff, and
like, there shouldn't be this much liquid.
Yeah, it was bad. So I didn't. So I'm fortunately coming out pretty unscathed. Yeah. Knock on wood, we don't know yet. I mean, I'm like 7 days clear from it, but yeah.
I made this myself. I know. Well.
Oh really?
IKEA. But yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Really good precision. Oh yeah.
Thanks. Why are you saying I can't make a table like this?
I'm not, but it shocked me, and now I know.
It's nice. I love.
You assembled the parts.
Yes, I assembled the parts.
You didn't cut the wood.
No, I didn't cut the wood. I am so happy with IKEA. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to put furniture together, but I'm a crafter, as you can see.
Yeah.
And I fucking love making shit with my hands, so it makes a lot of sense for me to go to IKEA for a table instead of fucking like Walmart. Walmart has tables, but that's not, you know what I mean? Fucking wherever you go get tables, that's not IKEA.
Yeah, Target, Walmart, whatever.
I guess they have like a table. They probably don't have many options there.
Yeah. You're limiting your possibilities if that's where you're shopping for your furniture.
So walk me through this. I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, and I'm thinking like, I'm drinking a cup of coffee, and maybe I'm too jittery or it stains my teeth. I should make a company. So like there's steps between there. I want to know your journey because it's not like a instant like, oh, one day I'm going to make a company. I mean, maybe it is an instant where you got the idea in an instant, but like it's not an instant process.
No.
So what was that like? What was the experience like of you? Like what happened when you decided it and like what was that like?
Yeah, good questions. I think there's two experiences that I went through to go from I didn't have a company I'd started to now I have a company I've started. The first one...
Forgive me, I'm just going to... I realized I completely did not put the screen towards us like I said I was going to do.
Oh, you're good. So the first one is do I want to start a company? That was a journey that I went through, and it's something that really resonated for me. Now, having gone through this, any literature or thing I see of like entrepreneurship is for everybody, like capitalism is the cure of all things because everybody's an entrepreneur. It's like that's bullshit. It's not. Like it's because the start of business is something that I think requires a certain level of mania and like some sanity too, but also definitely some insanity. And it's hard, and like I wouldn't wish it upon many people I love. Now it's my favorite game, like so it's definitely my thing, but just because it's my thing doesn't mean it's your thing. And I think people are different, and I have a personality that thrives in a lot of the thrill of creating a company and all the risk and the reward and skill sets and
so you like that excitement.
And that was part of like the first part of like deciding to start a company. It was like I think I actually have what it takes to do this, and it's a call that keeps like the phone keeps ringing, and like am I going to take this call or not?
Yeah.
And like with the opportunity of like take the red pill, take the blue pill, one of them being like entrepreneurship, the other one just kind of like say what you know and can kind of see into the future for. I decided to take the blue pill. I think the one that was do you go chase something that you don't know what the outcome is, or the red pill? Yeah. So the red pill for me would face that decision, which like everybody has that opportunity because like anybody could just go start a company. Like for me, the red pill was the obvious thing. So that was thing one, and there's things in my past that are not unique to me and like being an entrepreneur of like always class clown, like more resentful towards authority. Like there's just some things that aren't like they're not uncommon traits of entrepreneurs. They're like they've definitely like been constant
traits. You had the seeds already. Not the seeds. You had the soil sown.
Yeah, and I did a lot of work.
That soil, and the soil was fine. Like somebody else might be like, I hate coffee, and then do something else because their soil isn't right for like the answer being.
I'm going to start a business. Yeah, exactly. So basically like a lot of personality tests, a lot of like personal development work, a lot of reading books, just like things that helped me discover things about myself that was like, I think I have what it takes. Because like, if you're going to start a business, like have that clarity that like I'm made for this because it will cost you everything. And if it's like a half-assed thing, then like, aka like you're not sure if you're cut out for it, like don't start a business. It's like if you're not sure if you should like marry somebody, like don't ask them. Like it's like like there are certain like really big decisions. I'd like say starting a company is one of them that like you need to have that clarity. So that was kind of experience one. Is like I had a personal clarity of like this is for me. And then the second one is specifically around the product itself, where I just had trouble drinking coffee. It's something that upset my stomach, and I actually had to stop drinking coffee altogether. Back I used to be a full-time...
Just because it made you queasy?
I was a full-time touring musician, and going like town to town, drinking gas station coffee across rural America and Starbucks and stuff. I actually had to stop drinking coffee altogether because I would wake up and feel good, which is, I love feeling good and I naturally have a lot of energy. And then I would drink coffee, which is something that typically might perk people up and give them energy, and it would shut me down. Like, I would drink it, and I would get so anxious. And I'm not even, like, an anxious person. Like, I'm, like, an entrepreneur that has to, like, deal with a lot of risk, and, like, it doesn't freak me out. But, like, I drink a cup of coffee, and I'd get freaked out over anything. And it was, like, so I had a disconnect with coffee, and so I had to go through the very unpleasant thing of stopping to drink it, which is people who drink coffee every day, it's not on the top of their list of things to do. Like, quit drinking coffee. Like typically it would be like one of the last things they let go of. Like,
there are like people who do.
I'd be fine with never seeing this human again in my life if it meant like I could still have my coffee. Like that, like, people have that firm of a relationship with it. Yeah. So like, and then there's the white coffee I told you about in Seattle. I discovered that was a coffee that worked for me, and I was like, whoa, this is not available, and it also could taste better. And so then we invented the gold roast and created a format which people could prepare in their homes, which the coffee in Seattle was not able to. You could only buy it in coffee shops. Like it wasn't something people can make at their homes. 80% of coffee that's produced and consumed in the United States is in people's homes. And so like to me, it was like the big opportunity.
K-Cups are a huge thing though.
Oh, these are huge, yeah. And that's one thing, we get to be on the kill the K-Cup train because like we have these little tea bags and like they're compostable, much better for the planet, and like it's also just instant and easy.
I'm going to just throw this outside and forget about it.
Do it.
Okay. I'll film it. I'll film like me throwing it outside and forget about it.
Totally compostable. So, so those are the two things about like why this is like a personal, like I will do entrepreneurship. This is my calling. Yeah. And then second, so like with this, like I could pull this off better than most people.
So you decided to start a company, and then the company idea came to you after that. So you're kind of on the lookout for like, I want to start a company. I want to like, let me like figure out what kind of company I want to start, and then, oh shit, I don't like this coffee as I'm touring, and this company is doing a cool thing, but there's an opportunity here because they don't sell the homes.
Yeah,
you need to put it
and that's all entrepreneurship is just solving problems. So like that was like I saw a gap in the market that is like the job of an entrepreneur is to like go solve that problem, go fill that gap. And so it was like okay, this and like I did my homework on it, and like I interned at an accelerator called SKU. It's a consumer packaged goods accelerator. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, so like I got
SKU is like
SKU. Yeah.
There's none of this is a sample, but
yeah. So anyways, I developed a competency around what makes successful CPG companies, and there's
CPG?
Consumer packaged goods. Yeah. So like anything you buy at the grocery store or convenience store, basically, and like is the category growing or is it not? Can you have effective gross margins? Like what's your distribution strategy? Like is there what brands currently exist? Is there room for innovation there? There's like a whole bunch of things that if you like put you do the homework properly, at the bottom of like filling out this like formula, you're like, okay, like this like has a viability or it doesn't. And so I looked at lots of different opportunities, and then this one, like, it scratched the best itch because like it scratched a personal itch because like I had that problem with coffee, so like I could actually be a founder who could like bring this and evangelize it to the world because it solved a problem of mine. While simultaneously it was like, oh, this is also a thing that will work. And like now, like yesterday was our 6-month birthday since we've like been in the world.
Congratulations!
And it's working. It's like we're like doing like 6 figures in sales, and like it's. We just brought on like an amazing new person on the team who's going to like help us scale to now 7 figures. And like we couldn't do that if like we didn't have repeat buyers, and like we already have customers in all 50 states, and like we have repeat customers who've already paid us like $500-600 plus bucks. And like they're strangers. Like our top customer lives in Rhode Island, and like I talked to him, and why he drinks this is because he has a city issues with coffee. And so like there's things that like if I hadn't done that homework on the front end, like it would have been a lot less likely to work. And now, like, knock on wood, anything could happen, and like, a new pandemic, and it could be like people are allergic to coffee. So there's like no telling you, like, we're not entitled to success, but we have a good chance of it just based on the proper homework on the front end. So
it's a good mentality to have because shit happens. Like, life throws shit at you, and some of it's good and some of it's bad.
Yeah.
And you have to be in a place where you're like, I don't really care what life throws at me. I'm gonna come out on top. I'm gonna find a way. I'm gonna come out on top. So like, yeah, it's kind of cool that you are passionate about your company, but not attached to its success, and that is what I would say.
Can't be, no. I mean,
it's important.
We're not entitled to anything but pain and failure and death. So it's like, it's like
I like that.
So to feel entitled to success, you're just an idiot.
Sounds like a Stoic.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's a very Stoic philosophy, but then again, of course, the Stoics don't own that philosophy, but they just talked about it. So yeah, I mean, it's important to understand. How things work in the world. It's one of my problems with. I really like a lot of the mindset stuff when it comes to like focus on the positive and focus on visualizing stuff. But the problem I have with that is that some of the mindset stuff is like, okay, expect the best thing to happen and prepare for the best thing to happen. And if you're having any negative thoughts, then just put those out of your mind. And well, I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah,
because then
it's hard.
Life throws shit at you. Life throws good stuff and bad stuff. And yeah, you should be grateful for the good stuff. And yeah, you should be able to take advantage of luck when it comes, but you shouldn't rely on luck. Luck shouldn't be your foundation.
No.
If luck's your foundation,
it's inevitable, but it's the thing that's out of your control.
Yeah.
The things that are in your control are like doing the work and like the homework I talked about, and then like, we've gotten lucky breaks along the way that have like absolutely led to like the ability for me to put this into the world, without outside capital or whatever. we've since raised money, but like, you know, to bring it into existence, you know, I paid for it out of my own pocket, and I never made more than 63 grand a year at a job. But it's like, you know, I didn't come from money. I didn't have like tons to start with. And so we got some like huge lucky breaks that allowed us to create Golden Ratio on a pretty shoestring budget.
Yeah.
And like that was
investors or what kind of stuff?
No, I mean, we had a branding agency we worked with that created Golden Ratio.
Yeah, I was about to ask because the design's really nice. Like it's a great color scheme and it's a cohesive design, and like that's not a font I recognize. That's a more niche font. So
well, yeah, all the credit goes to our branding agency. They're in Denver, and they really believed in this, and they basically like bought into the vision that we had of like, this is going to be a new thing in coffee, and your firm's name could be in the history books for having helped make it. And they were like, that sounds really fun. Like we typically charge like big six figures to do branding work for people, but like, you know, like every now and then we like to like roll up our sleeves and like, you know, kind of do fun projects, and like we can't do them all the time, but like congrats, you're it. You know, what did you have budgeted for branding? And so we worked out a really like lucrative kind of win-win deal where like, you know, they did our branding for, you know, a thing that I could afford, which is, you know, steep fraction of what like was possible, or would they, you know, charge other people with an upside potential for them, like if this actually did like you know take off, like they could, you know, get like rewards for that. So yeah, we like were able to work out like a really amazing deal, and now they're great partners to this day. And
they did a good job.
So that was just like, oh, thank you, they did a phenomenal job. But that was a lucky break. Like I couldn't have made that happen. Like that took things out of our control. Happening
like
for us.
G, I'm a designer myself, and that G, it's kind of, it catches your eye because of the thickness here is very different. Usually, so like you see how this is thinner up here, and that's thicker down there. Usually they're either the same, like that's the thickness on top of the G and the bottom of the G is the same, or this one's thinner. And so it's kind of weird that it's weighted like that. It's weighted differently. It's unique.
Thank you. They nailed it. Like
it kind of catches your eye.
I am so grateful for our branding agency because they absolutely nailed it.
I can see that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So you also work out at... Do you work out at Squatch, or were you just there that day? Like with the CJ event?
Yeah. No.
You don't work out there. I saw you there yesterday.
I wasn't there yesterday.
You wasn't there? Because that...
No, I was in Fort Worth.
Okay. I thought that wasn't you. It was so weird because there was a guy that looked like 70 to 80% like you. And I was literally feet from him, and I'm like, should I ask how COVID was, or should I just like ask? Should I like say, hey, I'm excited for tomorrow, or like, should I say something? And then I'm like 80% because I've met you once, and then we've chatted over text a little bit.
Yes.
And so then I'm like, I'm only like 70, 80% sure it's Clark, so I'm gonna let it go, and I'm glad I did because that would have been a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Although awkward situations aren't really the end of the world.
They're
wouldn't have been that
inevitable.
bad.
No, there's plenty of things.
Wouldn't have been
there's
that
awkward
bad.
and there's no way around it. But yeah,
it wasn't.
There's somebody walking around 70-80% like me. I hope to meet this person one day.
Yeah. It's funny because I thought I was like, because I know what you look like, but I only met you once, so I'm not entirely sure.
What we were talking about earlier though about like the optimism versus like stoic philosophy or whatever. I mean, like as a founder, you're the only person who has the job of like holding the belief of this will work. Like it's the job of other people who aren't in the arena for your thing to be skeptical of it or whatever, or really criticize it. And as a founder, you need to be extremely critical of your own thing to make sure it's the best it can be. While simultaneously, if you don't have belief that it will work, you can't outsource that. Like you cannot outsource like other people believing it will work to make something successful. Like, it has to be from the origin or whatever. And so, well, also like as a founder, like at least for me, like I try to hold both equally. I don't view them as mutually exclusive beliefs. Where like I'd be as maybe stoic or whatever as possible, and we are entitled to no success. We live in a society where we freaking can push a button, and like food shows up. Like we have the easiest life of any people ever. We were born the best time ever, and there's just not that many big problems to solve anymore. So like, not saying there aren't big problems to solve, but it's as far as like little like things that you could make to make life better. There's just a lot of innovation that's already occurred, and like there's more people every year, and so that's why I think like the whole like entrepreneurship's for everybody argument is like fundamentally like a stupid argument because there's like 7 billion people and there's gonna be 8 billion soon, and like it just like it keeps the population growth, and like with progress you also have more problems solved at scale for people. And so like while there's less problems to solve for people, like at least micro problems, you also have more people around trying to solve the problems. And so like entrepreneurial opportunity, I think, is actually something that like decreases in time. I mean, there's elements of it in different like dimensions that like it actually like opens up more opportunity. And there are like, I'm not like thinking there's like not gonna be opportunity for people, but like we're just not entitled to have like some idea that is going to solve a problem for millions of people. Like Golden Ratio will be an insanely valuable company if we have 1 million people who drink this coffee every day. Like we will be a ridiculously successful company. But like we're not entitled to 1 million people like having the problems that we solve. And so like so there's like an element of like you need to kind of be stoic and like not bake your own like identity and like the success of something because like we're just not entitled for success. And then simultaneously, like when you're the founder, you also have to like you can't outsource belief that it'll work. Like it has to come from you.
Yeah,
and
you're
so
paying
like
people
I have
and they're
both.
doing work for you, and
Yeah.
they don't want to be like I'm doing all this branding stuff or all this design stuff.
No, like
They're not
we're born in the
thinking
United
it's never
States. We
gonna
put coffee in bags, and if we go out of business, who cares? Like it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things at all.
I'm gonna see what's going on with that because it just the screen just turned off.
And
I know
like,
this does a weird thing where it probably did that. It's okay. We have that on. I hope.
yeah, we got the audio too.
Yeah, we got the audio. Yeah, that turned off also. That does only 30 minutes. So we'll have a period of time. I really gotta figure this shit out. I'm sorry. We got a period of time where it's gonna be just audio and I'll have some cool visuals in the background.
Okay,
like,
cool.
Maybe like Ken Burns stuff of Golden Ratio.
So it doesn't matter if like this company doesn't work because like it doesn't like it just doesn't matter. We're putting coffee in bags and like it's fun and it's cool and it helps some people, but like
coffee in
ultimately
bags.
it doesn't. Like it's just fine. And then simultaneously, like it doesn't cost anything to believe that it will. And so I don't know. Like you have, like it's for me as a founder, I try to like infinitely believe both things. Like it's okay, it doesn't matter, and then also like of course it's gonna work. Like it's already working. And if I don't believe that, no one will believe that. And it probably won't work. And so they're not mutually exclusive beliefs to like have both infinitely. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that what you said there because there's been a lot of different ideas that I've had a really hard time integrating with each other. And that's one of them. It's how do I be grounded and stoic but also optimistic. And I think that's a really good way to phrase it is optimism. It's because there's a lot of people like, oh, law of attraction, just like I believe it'll work and it'll work. And I'm like, I don't know, but it's also not completely false.
I believe I'm gonna sell my Honda.
Yeah.
For $100,000, even though the Kelly Blue Book value is $14,000. I believe it's gonna work.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You're an idiot.
Yeah.
No
So
one's
it's
gonna
like-
walk around and buy your Honda for $100,000. It's like, yeah.
But it's also
like,
true,
You have to
it's
apply
like-
it to the right things.
But if you believe
Like if you aren't super specific with your goals, then it's important to be clear about them. If your goal is to make 100,000 and you are really dedicated to that and you're really optimistic that it'll happen, it'll probably happen at some point. It just, it might take a while. It's probably not going to be through your fucking Honda.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be in somehow. So, like, there's truth to both things. There's truth to be like, okay, know what you want and believe that it's going to happen and don't be too specific about it. And be stoic and understand that you don't deserve anything and you need to, and you're the one that has to make things happen. So it's like, well, both of them fit together. It's just so hard to integrate those two because they seem like they're in diametric opposition.
They're
but
not
really
at all.
not.
Yeah. It's like we exist in a world where we're entitled to nothing, and then like in your world, you can also believe that like things will be good, and that's just true.
Yeah.
Like even if you disagreed at the former, you're wrong. It's like like you didn't have to be here, and you're gonna die, and just pain and suffering and paying taxes are like the only things that are like inevitable between like life and death. And then,
So it's like you're creating it by believing it and working towards it. But both of them.
yeah, well, I mean, the former I didn't create. Like, that's just true. And then the second one is like you get the choice to believe that like things can work or they won't, and like it doesn't cost. Like vision is a decision. Like it doesn't cost a dime to believe things will work.
Yeah.
And then also like you can like weigh out. You can write out pros and cons of like, okay, if I believe this will work, like a little bit, a lot, fully, or not at all, and like what is like the pros and cons of it? Like it's overwhelming. Like benefit to all. If you've done your homework and you're like applying it towards the right things, you're not trying to sell like a $100,000 Honda and it's only worth $14,000, to believe like this will work, and so you can have optimism with peace. It's like
Yeah.
I have optimism, like it's gonna work, and then if it doesn't, I have peace because it doesn't matter. We're putting coffee in bags.
Yeah, we're putting coffee in bags. Whether you like
It's
it or
fine.
not.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
We're in the United States, and all of our investors. I mean, like investors, like we're gonna make some money on this thing. But if we don't, like, no one's going homeless.
Yeah.
Like, we live in America. Like, get on food stamps. Like, I mean, that's not a pleasant thought. But like, we're not gonna die. Like, we're not gonna starve. Like, yeah. Like, you have to worry about people who deny COVID more than like worry about like our business isn't working. Like, it's like. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting idea, and a few months before I met you, you said you were only 6 months old, so it was probably about 6 months ago. I saw some stuff on Instagram with you guys on it. It was like something that just popped up. It's like, oh, golden ratio, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And I poked around at it, and I was like, this is kind of interesting. And that was before I even met you, before I even tried it. So when I saw it at that event, I'm like, this is interesting. Now I get to try it. So it's kind of interesting. It kind of tastes nutty. It's like, if I were to describe it, it'd be like a nut tea, like a peanut tea. I like how you said peanut, because I didn't think of that until you said it, but it's so true. It's like a peanut tea, if anything.
Yeah, it was fun. It's just like a different way to do coffee, and we have 1 in 6 people come back and buy again regularly.
It's pretty good.
We try it. So it's like 5 out of 6 people go, not for me, or like, I'll buy it again occasionally, and then 1 out of 6 are like, oh, this solved a big problem for me. And there's 230 million people who drink coffee every day in the United States.
17% of people.
Yeah, it's like
It's pretty big.
that's why I'm like. Now I can like choose to believe it's going to work, but now I look at the numbers and I see the reorder rates. I'm like, and it's working. Like I don't even need to like be shameful of my like optimism. Now it's just like it's grounded. Like we have thousands of customers and like a lot of them who are coming back. And every month, like you look at like the cohorts and like they go up into the right every single month.
Up into the right.
Yeah, so it's like okay, that's all that matters.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of interesting because I've been working on creating a new YouTube channel, and what you're talking about with the market research is, oh my god, it's perfect. Because right now, going through this program, you knew Simple Pickup?
I don't.
Okay, so the founders of a YouTube channel that was viral and hilarious, they did some cool like social experiment stuff, and they also made a few other channels. I think between the two, I don't know how many channels they made, 4 or 5, and they're all widely successful because they did a lot of work on learning how to create viral content. And then they went through Y Combinator, which is Y Combinator is hard as fuck, and they came up with Jump Cut Studios, which is their content creation powerhouse, and they have online courses through them. So I got one of their courses on how to create good content, shareable content, and the whole like most of the course, half like maybe a third of it is the business side of things, how to make money, how to get sponsors, all that stuff. And like get your market and stuff. I would say a sixth of it is creating the content, and then the first half is just planning. The first half is like, what makes viral content? How do you make an idea that's viral? How do you do research to figure out what's out there? How do you change things a little bit to make your idea unique and shareable? And that's like, of all the content of creating a massively successful YouTube channel on their course, that's fucking half of it. You don't even start to make videos until halfway through the course, which I think is
yeah. I mean, like to get written about, you have to do something with writing.
Yeah.
And like you can blindfoldedly guess at what that is, or you can just do some homework and be like, oh, there are topics that no one cares about, and there are topics that are zesty. Like if we want to make a viral video, if that's the goal, then we like should probably go like do something zesty. Like if you want to catch fish, go fish where the fish are, and like we don't even need to guess anymore. Look, Google Analytics. I mean, you can just like. It's amazing the insights we can have.
I like that word, zesty. That's perfect. I'm gonna have to use that word.
It's a good word.
Zesty.
Chris Mo, thank you for introducing me to the zest of using zesty.
Who is Chris Mo?
He's one of my really good friends who used the term zesty, and I had the same aha you did. I was like, ooh,
I might have to
zest. That's a good
steal that.
Good way to do it.
I like it.
Yeah.
There's a guy. There's a new guy, Sam Newton. He's a YouTuber. He did a hilarious call out of Peter McKinnon. He did like this rap battle video where he just kind of made a diss track, and he's like, it's called the new Peter McKinnon. He's like, I'm the new Peter McKinnon, pretty much. It's fucking hilarious. I don't want to like rap it because I suck and I won't do it justice, but definitely a cool fucking track, and it's really funny because he started this phrase. I also might want to steal it. He uses the word creamy. Oh, that's real creamy.
I like zesty.
Creamy is more could be more raunchy.
Yeah, but yeah, in like a way that like, especially, like just day to day, like talking to your vendors and employees and stuff. Like,
Keep it memorable.
I think like walking around with a creamy vocabulary might have more impending landmines in your life than if you don't.
You would be more memorable.
Zesty, I think, has similar asset with a less liability.
Yeah, I know a couple of people who are super crass. I used to be very, 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 very crass, and like not give a fuck what people thought. I'm a little bit less vulgar. Actually, I'm a lot less vulgar now, which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I kind of miss, in a way, I miss who I used to be when I would just like say whatever the fuck I want. But I do like the idea of saying either creamy and or zesty. I might have to use both in my language.
Yeah, or some creamy zest.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's all just knowing your audience.
Or ranchy.
Ranchy.
That's creamy and zesty.
There we go. And there's spicy ranch.
There is spicy ranch.
Somebody can drop something that has some cream and some zest, and you can go, that has some spicy ranch.
I like it. I think that's a good note to end on. So
Hey, this has been a spicy ranch conversation.
Yeah. Where can people buy Golden Ratio?
DrinkGoldenRatio.com.
DrinkGoldenRatio.com.
Buy. Start your day the golden way. People say this is their favorite change-up cup, first cup. It's hard to replace people's coffee, but in the afternoon they're gonna go make another pot or drink the old coffee. It's like no. This is a good change-up cup. For others, they drink it every day as their main bay because coffee's too acidic for them. And some people just don't like it doesn't taste too proud. Some people just like the taste. So hope you enjoy it. Let us know what you think. DrinkGoldenRatio.com and have a wonderful rest of your day. You too, Joe.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! When you're watching this, it's 2021. You made it. Congrats.